Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into my channel. Yes, I am still doing the No Shop July challenge, but this is not part of the No Shop July challenge. This is actually a multi-series video on a gnome doll. I started her last month. It took me about 3 weeks with all of the video taping that I had to do to create her. And as I speak right now, right over there, I am still doing editing on this doll. She is a multi-series video because she's large and she's partially sewn, partially glued, but she's super cute. So here she is in all her glory. She has posable hair. You can actually bend it or straighten it out. She has an ice cream cone in her hand. She's wearing a dress with a zipper. You can actually unzip this and take the dress off of her, so the dress is not glued on her. So it does take some sewing skills, mostly hand sewing and some hot glue. You don't have to do this on a sewing machine. I did a little tiny bit on the sewing machine, but you can totally do this by either gluing it or even hand sewing it. She is very flexible and she is extremely durable, so her legs are sewn onto her body. So she is extremely durable. So if you guys want to know how to make this cute little girl, keep watching. Alright guys, so these are the tools you're going to need to make this gnome. You'll need some little clamps, got these from the Dollar Tree. You'll need a yarn needle, a pair of scissors, a pair of wire cutters, and of course our trusty hot glue. You'll need some rubber bands and some kind of a ring. I'm using a large fat canning jar ring. Also, your option, I'm going to do some sewing, but you can do this 100% glued, but I'm going to be using needle and pins and my sewing machine, some chalk, and of course some thread, both in white and in pink. Now let me set up for the materials we're going to need to make this project. Alright, so these are the materials you're going to need to make this gnome. Some yarn from Dollar Tree. Doesn't matter what color, I'm going to be using pink. You're going to need some fabric. I'm going to use this cute little fabric that I got at the secondhand store. Any kind of fabric will do. One colored pretty zipper. A piece of peach felt. A piece of another felt, any color you want. I'm using this white one with a little bit of glitter on there for the hat. You'll need one diabetic sock that you can get from Dollar Tree. You will need one pair of knee-high socks. I got these from Dollar Tree. You'll need two of these hairs that you got. They came on a headband at Dollar Tree. Your other option would be you can order this 100% Kaylon jumbo braid hair from Sally's Beauty Supply. Comes in many different colors. I actually spent $2.99 on this. I got blonde, I've got black, and I've got brown. But I'm going to choose to use the Dollar Tree hair today. You're going to need some floral wire, some decorative beads. I don't remember where I got these from. I think I got these at a secondhand store, although I do believe that Joann's and Walmart and that carry decorative beads. You're going to need some weights, this or some kind of a weight. These are the glass pieces from Dollar Tree. And you are going to need little baby socks that have the little form in them. So what you want is the baby socks that have the form. You're going to need some kind of
Stuffing, polyfill. I actually buy my pillows from Walmart for $3.88, and I have plenty of polyfill to fill anything I want. You will need one 2-inch foam ball, and you will need 18 of the Dollar Tree pearl beads. And for the ice cream cone, you are going to need a tan piece of felt, a brown marker, some white yarn, some tweed yarn, and some pink yarn. All of these came from Dollar Tree. Alright, so now let's get to it. Alright, so the first thing you're going to want to do, if you bought the headband and had the hair on it, you're going to want to cut the hair off the headband. And you'll want 2 of them, and then you'll want to rubber band them either together or independently. And so I did independently, and then now I will rubber band them together. So now we're going to braid it, and we're going to place a floral wire within it. It's going to be slightly shorter than the hair, not much, because you don't want the wire to hang out. Feed it through the rubber band. Adjust the length. This is why you cut extra. Alright, so now you're going to braid around the wire. I'm going to throw a rubber band around the end. Alright, so now the hair is posable. So let's move on to making her body. Alright, to make her nose, you're going to take a piece of this peach felt. You're going to cut off a square. Now, however big you want her nose, make it quite large. You can always cut it down. You just can't add to it. You're going to stuff this in your hand or your finger, and then you're going to take some batting, and you're going to stuff it inside nice and tight. You can rubber band it shut, you can tie it shut. I'm going to choose to rubber band, and then I'll show you how to make an insurance that the band doesn't pop off after a few years and then you lose your nose. Alright, so there's the nose. Cut off some edge, not too close, don't cut really close to the rubber band. You want a lip. Now what you want to do is just barely turn it over so that you don't see the rubber band. Get a little bit of hot glue. Be very careful, because if you get it on the rubber band, it'll break. Alright, we're going to let this cool, then we'll cut this off. Let's move on to the hands. Alright, you'll need the peach felt again, and I have a template that I keep of my little mitten hands. And so you just make a template of a mitten hand, and then what you're going to do is you're going to draw your template and you're going to make the thumbs face each other. Really doesn't make a difference. But cut out 2 pieces for the 2 hands. Since I already got mine cut, I'm not going to cut another.
If you would like to help support my channel, go ahead and click on the link down below to buymeacoffee.com to help me buy the craft supplies and help me buy the coffee to keep me awake to make these tutorials. If you would like a shout out from me from buymeacoffee.com, just leave me a message. Tell me about yourself, and if you don't mind me reading your message on video. Now, let's get back to that tutorial.
Alright, so next we need to make her legs. So we're going to take this pair of knee-high socks, and we're just going to use just above the ankle up. We're going to cut this in half. Now you have a set of legs, and what you're going to do is turn them inside out. You can use pins if you want to sew it. Just make sure that if you're going to sew it, use a jersey needle. Alright, so I'll do the other one and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to take the clamps off. And we'll check for any missed spots. If we don't have any missed spots, we'll turn it right side out. Leg is done. Now we are going to attach them to the sock form. So you just want to pull it over the edge. Seam to the back. Now, if you want to, you can also put a piece of cardstock along the bottom to make the shoe a little bit more stable. One sock to the other, all the way around. Alright, so now we're going to stuff the legs. Take some polyfill. Alright, so we're going to take our ring. We're going to put our 6 clamps perpendicular to each other. And we'll make adjustments so that they're evenly spaced. Then we're going to take our yarn take our yarn, don't pre-cut it. We will thread it onto our yarn needle. You're going to take 18 beads and try to make them about the same size. I'm going to use my Alright, so then we're going to thread all of the beads at one time. All 18 of them. Alright, now that we got them all strung, grab our little ring here. Not going to need the needle right now. We'll pull one bead and tie a knot big enough for this to slip over. Even if it's extra, that's okay. Just don't make it tight. Place it over your clip, go across, grab a bead, and wrap it around, and go to your next clip, keep a bead on the back, wrap it around, keep a bead, wrap it around, keep a bead, wrap it around, keep a bead, back to your start and do it all over again. You're going to do it 3 times around. Right, and then you're going to repeat again. Now that you've wrapped all of your beads, you are going to cut a long piece. Very long, very long. Never too long. And you're going to thread your needle once again. And now you are going to secure this by tying through the center out. First loop, do it again in the same spot. Move to your next one. You're going to go under and come out the middle. Move to your next spot and do the same thing. Under, down, and up. Please use a yarn needle for this, or she'll be poking yourself. Under and up. Alright, so now that you've got it all tied all the way around, you are going to tie it off. Now take your clips off. Now you can leave it like this, or you can do a little stitching along the edge to keep them from rolling around. I'm just going to leave it as is and not do any more stitching, so I am done. Now let's move on to stuffing the gnome. Alright, so we have our sock, here's our ball, here's our weights. We have another sock, and I cut the toe off. In the toe, we are going to put the weights. I use glass because it's non-porous. No bugs will get into it. It won't rust. Nothing happens to it. It just stays as glass. Tie it up, not super tight. Allow it to move a little bit. But I'm going to tie it up with a rubber band. And I don't too terribly worry about this rubber band because it's going to be up inside the sock. So even if the rubber gives, it's still going to be up inside the sock. Alright. Next, we are going to take the ball and put it inside the full sock. All the way to the top. Get it nice and snug. Now you're going to take the little choker that you made, fit it through, and slide it up. So then you're going to put this weight in last. Make sure you put the tied end facing up. And then you're going to rubber band this shut. Twist it, grab yourself a rubber band, fold it up, squish down your weight. You made your legs, so here's her legs. They sew her some knees. Alright, so both of the knees are done. I would recommend, if you want to sell these, sew the knee, don't glue it. The glue won't hold very well. I ended up having to do a little bit of stitching. This one is actually stitched, so I would recommend stitching. Alright, so next up we are going to attach the body to the legs. And so we want, you don't want the empty part of the sock there. You actually want the full part, like where the stuffing is at, okay? So decide where the front of your girl is going to be. And I'm looking, I have to look at the beads. I want I want that to be the front, only because the beads look really nice. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach her legs like so, and I'm going to choose to sew them on. You can glue them, but I'm going to choose to sew them. So let me get a needle and thread and I will sew this on. Alright, so I have the first one pinned on. Now you can totally glue it on. See, there's plenty of room to glue it on, and if you want to glue it all the way up, because again we're going to have a dress and this will cover it up, but again I'm going to choose to sew it on. So I have a little hook needle, alright, so the legs are sewn on. So you see the reasoning for that I want to sew them on. They're not going to separate, and they're very flexible. There's no stiffness. But if you're going to glue them, go ahead. So now we are going to cut her arms. Alright, so let's take her, lay her on her side, and typically you want the arms to be slightly longer than the bottom. So you want it to go just a squeak past the bottom. So this is going to be her cuff. This will be her shoulder. Cut a little extra, so I'll add up another inch just to the top of those butterflies. Again, we're going to fold it in half. Alright, so you have a choice. You can cut 2 and have it be a flat hand, or you can cut 4 and stuff them. So I have cut 4 and I'm going to stuff these. So I'm going to glue them and then stuff them. I'm not going to turn them inside or right side out. We're just going to glue and leave them be, because there's just not a lot of room to turn them. You could cut them bigger. Now we're going to glue the sleeves. Same thing as the legs. So I'm going to glue them up.